stop gossiping. That's a hard one. What is gossip? Saying something about someone that you wouldn't say to someone. Real simple. Sometimes I have to catch myself. I say, wait a minute, I'm fixing to say something now. Would I say this about that person if this person was standing here listening to me say it? And if the answer is no, then I cannot say it. That is the test for gossip. Stop saying anything about anybody that you wouldn't say to that person themselves. Get out of that habit. It's in the system of white supremacy. I mean, gossip, and we're told to embellish it. I mean, we make TV programs around it and all like that. I mean, but at least on a TV program, you're saying it to the whole world, so it can't be classified as gossip. It really isn't gossip if you're saying it to everybody. But if you're saying something about any person, stop and think, would you say that about this person if the person was right there listening to you say it? And if the answer is no, you would not, then don't do it. That is how you put yourself to a test. These are all self-testing suggestions. Every last one of them. Stop gossiping.
See, gossiping means I'm trying to pull somebody else down to where I feel myself to be at a subconscious level. So on a 0 to 10 scale, 10 is high, and my self-liking, self-respect score is 3. I will find myself carrying gossip, trying to demean and degrade somebody. If my self-respect score gets to be 8, 9, 10, it won't even occur to me to carry gossip.
Make contact with anybody unless you have something constructive to say or do. Now that's the start right there. Don't pick up the phone. We got fast communications now, faster than we ever had before, where we can just pick up a cell phone and call anybody, anywhere in the world. Okay? But what are we talking about when we do it? Every conversation after you get off the phone should be like a breath of fresh air. Now, you got millions of black people right now on the phone. I pass them on the sidewalk. I have a cell phone. I very seldom use it. Very seldom. And for a very logical reason. Very seldom do I have anything constructive to say. Something guaranteed that's going to be constructive. No calling anyone just for chit-chat. That's got to stop. Well, I just call you up to, well, what do you call me for? And so the person that you were calling, they weren't thinking about anything either. They don't have anything constructive to say. And so now you start engaging in just what they call idle chit-chat, and that is fatal for black people. Period. It has not worked because it leads to what you call what? Idle talk that leads to what? Gossip, for one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You start saying things about people that you wouldn't ordinarily say if the people were listening. So what do? You sit there in silence unless you have something constructive to say. You can be in contact with people, but just sit there. Be the one person in the group who says absolutely nothing until you can think of something constructive to say. If they want you to say something and you haven't thought of anything constructive to say, you simply say, I'm thinking. I'm listening to you all talk, and while you all are talking, I'm thinking. And when I have something constructive to say, I'll say it. But right now, I'm just listening to everybody sitting here in the group talking. You don't prevent them from talking, and you're not being antisocial because you're there.
Right.
So you just sit there and let them talk. Let them talk for an hour. You be the quiet one until you think of something constructive to say. And when you think of something constructive to say it. And if you don't think of anything constructive to say, just sit there. And if you want to interject something into the conversation, you ask for permission. You say, Carolyn or whatever, you know, or Keisha or whatever the names are, do you want my opinion? And if they say, no, we don't want your opinion because you always come up with something too serious. They may say something like that. That might be the response. So then you just go silent again. Your opinion's been rejected.
Yeah.
But you're still there. It's not difficult at all. And not only that, when they want to talk serious, it's been my observation. Now, the person that talks seriously about serious subjects, when they really are in trouble from all of that talk that they have produced that was poisonous, you will be most likely the person that they will come to. They get ready for serious conversation when they're really in trouble as a result of all this poison they've been engaging in.
Right.
Now they will come to you.
It's like social media is, they gamify, they make a game, right, out of attention. You know what I mean? So how many likes, whatever, and all of these is things that we programmed as human beings to, we're very susceptible to that. You know what I mean? And so they made a video game of it called Your Page. You know what I mean? And you don't realize you playing video games all day, but it's like, oh, let me see what else, you know, gonna come up. You know, what's gonna pop up. All of that is giving them it's a little endorphin, you know, little squirt, like, you know, like a lab rat. And we get addicted to this. You know, I was just talking to the homies the other day about the first thing a lot of us do in this social media world is we wake up and we check social media. We wake up, we check Facebook, we check Instagram before we check anything internal. You know, we say we want to meditate more and whatever, but we get our first 10, 30 minutes to the social media instead of sitting down, breathing, and giving thanks, you know, for the day. We got the time. It's just priorities is the issue. So, but it's not a judgment, but it's more a statement of, you know, these companies have invested billions of dollars in researching human behavior and creating these systems. You know what I mean? So that you paying attention, so that you can be sold things and controlled consumer-wise. Yeah. So it's our job to just know what the game is, you know, and create buffers. You know what I mean? Meditate first before you do anything else. Give thanks, meditate, get your, you know, tune into your internet. You know what I mean? And then use it to network. You know what I mean? Use it as part of your business. Use it to, you know, have community through a digital space. But just, you know, always pimp the system. Don't let the system pimp you.
Is political correctness killing the entire hip-hop rhetoric?
No, I don't think it is. I don't think you have to be that politically correct. I mean, there's people that are, but at the end of the day, you can still in our genre pretty much say what you want to say and get away with it.
Because you see people getting outraged by every single remark that goes on social media. You see, for example, Kanye West, you know, ranting, and then, you know, like hundreds of thousands of millions of tweets of people just, you know, calling him down because of that.
I think people are now experiencing the fact that you can be in the thoughts of those hundreds of thousands of people. I tell people all the time, if something like this happened before the internet, these same conversations were going on across every barbershop USA. It's just that you couldn't hear them, right? It was a conversation amongst 10 people, 15 people, whoever was in the barbershop at the time. All of those opinions. Now you get to read all of them, and it becomes sort of like noise, right? You can't take that and say, okay, well, I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing because someone has this opinion. There's always going to be opinions. There's always going to be someone that doesn't like what you do. There's always going to be people that do like what you do. Sometimes you need to be called out. You need to have people say to you, I don't really like that. Great. You know what? I'm going to go. The mature person goes back and says, okay, you know what? I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix this. Or you can simply say, I'm sorry, or whatever. But we're in that age now of instant access. Someone can, without even knowing you, just say whatever they want to say across the internet.
It's pretty reactionary too, which is kind of dangerous.
Oh, it's very reactionary. But it's all in how you view things. I don't like it when my children or my students refer to people on their page as their friends. I'm like, they're not they're followers. They're people who want to follow whatever you're putting up. Your friend is someone that you interact with on a daily basis. That's another thing that I find this generation needs help with, is human interaction. Just go outside and meet people, right? Versus digitally or virtually meeting people and having these conversations. You just have to understand what that is. There's a great power in that I can now connect with someone who I probably physically won't be in a room with, or then once I've recognize that person online, I can then go meet that person.
Right.
But recognize what the word friend really means. That's someone that knows you, or the vibe that we get just from sitting in the same room and having eye contact and those type of things are
the
things
physicality of it all,
of actually meeting people. You may get in front. There may be someone who you get along with online and you get in front of them and you don't like that person, or vice versa. There may be someone who seems like you don't like them online and you get in front of them and then they're like, oh, this is actually a cool person.